Has that
Oh
ever...
yeah, we have people. This is crazy, but we have people at TransRockies it's their first trail run ever.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow.
nuts. Yeah,
That's intense.
yeah,
So
that is nuts.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to Gotta Run Racing Podcast, Season 3.
Episode?
64?
Nice.
Maybe? I don't know.
First episode of 2023.
Yes.
Make it short. There we go. All right.
And what is happening in the world of Gotta Run Racing?
Well, we've released Lost Treasure Trail Race on race roster. And we've added a 25K this year. So that'll be in Mansfield, May 20th, long weekend, which typically in Ontario could go either way, snowing or plus 30. But we figure it's a Saturday morning, so if you're heading up north, come do the race and then continue on your long weekend travels.
Well, we always have good weather at our events because we pay for it.
That's me knocking on wood.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is that? Knocking on wood.
We pay for it with our,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Who is on the podcast for this third season, podcast number 1, season 3?
All right. Well, we have another race director, thanks to a Patreon suggestion that we talked to some race directors. So with the second race director here is KEVIN McDonald, who is the race director for 5 Peaks Alberta, VP race director of TransRockies Stage Race, and he is the director of the new Run the Rocks Moab Stage Race, which I'm going to be doing in March.
That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, well, you don't know what you're going to get as far as weather goes.
No, it chances are it's going to be in the 60s,
Okay.
but you never know.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be your first stage race. I'm looking forward to that
Me too.
because all I'm going to be doing is sitting on a rock while you're running the rocks.
No, you're going to be renting a bike and you're going to be following me on the course.
I'm definitely going to have a few beers while you're out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're heading down there with a few of our friends who we remain nameless till now until we do our live. We're going to live stream, right?
Live stream.
All right.
Correct.
So look forward to that at the beginning of March.
Here is Kevin, who's going to give us a little bit of what's happening with Run the Rocks.
Or will he?
Coming up.
Thanks for joining us today. Where are you?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
And what are you doing there?
It's an annual conference, the running event.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I come here every last week of November. So so it's hot today. It's like let me convert into American Fahrenheit. It's like 85 degrees today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've
so
always wanted to go to the running event, and I haven't gone yet.
yeah, it's pretty cool actually. I like it. It's kind of small and more intimate. So I enjoy it better than some of the bigger conferences.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations on the new event that's coming in 2023, Moab Run the Rocks.
Yeah. We're excited. It's I didn't anticipate it to sell out that fast. So I think it sold out in like 10 or 11 days or something like that. So it's kind of crazy.
That's amazing. A race director's dream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's always hard when they don't sell out right away, and then you got to keep promoting them. And it's just nice. We ordered all the bibs, the T-shirts, all the medals and buckles and all that stuff. And way far in advance, you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know exactly what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's perfect.
I'm not sure if I mentioned, but we're race directors too, so we totally get that.
Yeah.
Before we get to more detail about Moab, we know that you're a runner as well. So when did you start your running career?
Kind of started trail running when I moved out west in 2008. So I lived in Calgary for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been living in Canmore since 2010.
Wow.
So yeah. So I'm very weekend warrior-ish. I done an ultra though. I did a 60K ultra, Bryce Canyon. So
Oh, you did Bryce.
Oh, that's not easy.
Yeah.
I did Bryce too. That's not easy.
Yeah. And my girlfriend at the time, she was way faster than me, and she had IT band issues, and I was feeling good actually. I was like, but I was being the good boyfriend. And I waited. We basically walked the last 10K. I was feeling good, so I got to do another one. See what kind of time I can improve on. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Was that your longest to date?
Yeah, that was 60K. Yeah. I think that's the longest I'll go. I'm a hockey player, right? So I'm 200 pounds. So I'm not built for long distance running.
Have you done any stage races then? They're shorter distance.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't. I haven't done any stage races.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I mean we started TransRockies Run in 2007 in Colorado, so they're getting to be more and more out there now. But yeah.
Now on to directing. You have a pretty deep history in directing events, having been involved in the Olympic Games a few times. What drew you to race directing?
I got a job in the Olympics, not with like the organizing committee, but with a event marketing company in Sydney. And then we did all the promotion for Samsung, and they were one of the big clients. And so I'm like, okay, I got, Atlanta on my resume. I got Sydney. And then I got back from that around the world trip. I had no money, living with my mom and dad. And then mom's like, well, why don't you apply at the Canada Games in London, Ontario? Because, that'd be cool. And so, yeah, I put my resume in and got hired at the 2001 Canada Summer Games. Wow. Then it just started snowballing from there. That was a year-long contract. That ended. And that's when I got that job as event director at that company in Toronto. It was called 24 Hours of Adrenaline.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So we had a big race at Hardwood Hills.
Yeah, for sure. I remember that.
At the time, it was a huge company. We had like 2,600 riders.
Yep.
Hardwood Hills, 1,500 in Canmore. So that was kind of cool because then we had 12, 13 events all over North America. So I was on an airplane every other week in the summer flying into different spots. So I'm like, oh, this life is kind of cool. This life. And yeah, I just kind of started, snowballing from there and kind of been involved ever since kind of. And then for TransRockies, I've been there since 2008. So yeah, quite a long time. So then I also do the 5 Peaks series in Alberta as well. So I don't know why, but it's like Alberta has 10 events, even though it's not that big of a province as far as population wise compared to BC and Ontario. But so yeah, I race direct 10 events in Alberta for 5 Peaks. So yeah, pretty busy with all the 5 Peaks and TransRockies pretty much every single weekend this summer. I'm doing some sort of event. So yeah, crazy busy summer, and then kind of chill out in October, November, December, then it ramps up again in January.
Back at it. Yeah.
Speaking of 5 Peaks, what challenges do you have between 5 Peaks and a multi-day race?
That's a great question because so my buddies who work at the stage races, they help me out at 5 Peaks. And we feel that 5 Peaks is actually harder than a multi-day race because everybody gets there in the morning, right? And they got to pick up their bib, and then so it's just everything comes at you like so fast, and it's and then the distances are short, so it's like a 7K to 10K, and next thing you know, we do the kids race, we get them, we make sure all the kids are accounted for, and then we do this, then we send out the enduro people, then we send out the sport people. And then next thing you know, I go to we have this little finish line catering area where all the food. So I grab a couple, 2 bite brownies and a drink. And next thing you know, the first sport runner's coming down the hill, and they're like, oh, and then you got to I do the announcing for Alberta. So it's like, next thing you know, they're coming down the hill, and then you got to do the awards. And it's like, oh my God, what just happened there? It's just like, you got 4 hours, 5 hours packed in like crazy, right? Where stage racing, it's kind of it's more okay, we do registration the night before, and it's people are a little more like, it's a little more chill, right? So
chill and relaxed.
Going out for 5-6K, they're going out for 15, 20, 30K, right? So but actually, having said that, stage racing, well, TransRockies Run in particular, because you're moving every day, that's the hardest thing ever, because you got to pack up 500 people and their bags and their tents and the food and the shuttle buses, and we have 150 crew members, so making sure no one goes in the ditch with one of the 40 vehicles that we rent and all that stuff, right? So that's a different kind of stress too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we have a secret on when we do our events. Dark glasses, don't make eye contact with anybody. Tunnel vision.
Only the short events. Because you're so right. You nailed it. I can't believe how fast 4 hours can go when it's a 5 or a 10K.
Yeah.
Total head spinner.
But having said that, though, the reason why I like events is because of people, right? Like that's what I like. I like meeting people, and you get to meet lots of cool people. And so yeah, I probably talk too much so my buddies joke, they say at TransRockies Run, they call me the social coordinator because I just talk to all the runners, and because I traveled all over the world, everybody has a story, and where are you from? Oh yeah, England, Croatia, New Zealand. So I've been to all those places, so it's kind of cool to have a similar connection, right? So it's a good way to get the friendship off to a good start, right? When you visit their country in South Africa, they don't believe you at first, right? And
exactly.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. No, you took off one of the questions that we have for you later, the fact that every runner has a story, and it's so inspiring. And then when you find out someone traveled specifically to come and do your event, it's such a rewarding experience. And we take the time to talk to people too, because you want to know what drew them to your event. You want to know what it was about that particular race that brought them to the event. So I think it's so important to engage. Norm was kidding about the sunglasses thing, by the way, but it's so true. Hearing those stories or getting that email after the event saying, you know what, that was my first race and I'm inspired to do it a longer distance next time. I think that's what keeps us going, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me, it's like, I love to see, say the race happened in August or whatever. I love to see like the next April, 6 people who met at TransRockies Run are doing rim to rim to rim. They didn't know each other. And then they're doing all these cool adventures all over the world. And people always say, you meet lifelong friends. And I know it sounds corny and cliche-ish, but it's like people say, oh yeah, that changed my life, going to those events and meeting friends that I didn't have before that are all like-minded. And and then now they go travel all over the world and do different races all over the world. So it's kind of cool to see that on our social media platforms where people meet at TransRockies Run or other events and they hook up somewhere.
Has anyone you've known that done a 5 Peaks, first 5 Peaks 7K, and then did TransRockies years later? Has that?
Oh yeah, we have people. This is crazy, but we have people at TransRockies it's their first trail run ever.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah, that is intense. And what we're finding too with trail running, like for example, I did Ironman in 2013, right? And you didn't really meet a lot of trail runners during Ironman at that time. And now the Ironmans, basically, I mean, it's still popular, but not as popular as it used to be, I think. I don't know for sure. And now they're like, you know what? I've done 6 Ironmans, I need a new challenge. And obviously they can run, they're fit, they're used to the endurance portion of it. So we're getting a lot of like triathletes now doing the stage races. Just a new challenge for them, and they're used to suffering. So it's kind of neat to see that kind of different piece of the pie come into trail running. So
it is. Well, I think we should talk Moab. What's the origins of Run the Rocks?
Well, we do a mountain bike race there called Moab Rocks, and so that's been going on since 2013. So yeah, I love Moab. It's so unique, and I was like, oh yeah, we should probably put on a 3-day running race here too. And I got so busy that I was like, I just kind of kept putting it aside. And then I called up, actually all these people actually work for me. They do all the media and social media stuff for me at TransRockies Run. I'm like, hey, I just rented an Airbnb in Moab. Meet me in Moab at the end of June. We're going to spend the weekend in Moab just running around and checking out some trails. And then we kind of used some of the trails we used for a mountain bike race. So like day 2, Gemini Bridges. It's like we started that course in 2013. It's just pretty much the same for our running race. And then we had a good relationship with the BLM. Todd's in charge of the Bureau of Land Management. So we talked to him. Hey, if we do this work, will you permit this race? And he was like, yeah, you guys are good. You guys are good people to work with. So yeah, that kind of started it. And then, we sold out in 11 days. Kind of crazy. So,
And you got some big names. You got some big names.
Yeah. So I didn't anticipate that. So, but yeah, it's like trail running is kind of and I like the stage racing because it's like I said, you build community more. It's easier to build community at stage racing.
Yes.
And then at a 1-day race, right? If it's a 50-miler, or a shorter race. Yeah. Hey, Norm, what's going on? You're like, I'm from Orangeville. Where are you from? I'm from Canmore. And next thing you know, Norm takes off and I don't see Norm for the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
I might see him in the beer garden like 3 hours later, but that's about it, right? So, I mean, yes, you do meet people at these longer races. I get that. But someone was having an argument with me about this same topic. I'm like, well, 100-mile races, you don't really get to meet people. Oh, yeah, you do. And I'm like, I get it, but it's not the same as like over 6 days. Over 6 days, you're like, you're exchanging phone numbers and you're adding people to Facebook and you got authentic new buddies. It's not like, maybe you'll see each other again. Maybe we won't. I mean, it does happen at some of the 50-milers, 100-milers. I get that, but you're just.
But in the 100-milers, when you're running with someone, maybe you don't running with someone you don't even like, and you can't get rid of them. But you're doing the same speed.
Yeah.
That happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
when I was doing that 60K, and my girlfriend heard her IT band, I just started talking to this other girl, and she got mad at me for that. I was like, I'm just trying to meet new friends.
That's right. Can you share a memorable moment in one of your events that you've directed that comes to top of the list? A memorable moment?
I think it's, for me, it's there's a bunch of them, and it always comes back to those people who didn't think they'd ever finish TransRockies Run, whether it be the 3-day or the 6-day, and seeing them come across the finish line with tears running down their face and like how excited they were to come across the finish line. And that happens every year. And it just like kind of gives you the reason why you do it. And because people are doing these things that they never thought was possible. And it feels like every year we get, more weekend warriors than we had the year before. And people just sign up on a whim and don't really know what they're signing up for. And they fly to Colorado and they're like, I'm just going to do a trail run here. And it turns into be more than they bargained for. And so, yeah, like, Myrna, I don't know if you know Myrna Valerio.
No.
She's go on social media. She's turned into a bit of a social media rock star. But I found her on the Today Show like 6 years ago. And I was like, oh, she seems like a cool girl. And I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, I'll give you a free entry if you can come to TransRockies. She's like, okay, I'll do it. But she didn't finish it. She didn't finish all 6 stages.
Okay.
So I think she stopped after day 5. And then the next year she came back, paid her own way there. And then she finished TransRockies and just like stuff like that, where every day, like barely getting across the finish line. We have like pretty easy cutoffs, like 9-hour cutoffs. And every day it was like, oh, is she going to make it? And it was like turned into a big thing. And then day 6 in Beaver Creek, she's running across the bridge. She has 100 meters left to go and everyone's going wild, right? Like cheering everyone. Like, so just not the stories like that happen every single year, every single stage.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who's listening that would like to try a stage race?
Yeah, it's for me personally, I'm biased with stage races, but yeah, obviously you have to train. You just can't show up and expect to get through it. It's like when I was doing Ironman, I didn't want to just. Everyone's like, Kev, you got to start training. I'm like, I know, and I did train a lot. I lost like 20 pounds. But I wanted to enjoy the experience, right? So first and foremost, you obviously want to train and be prepared as much as you can. So you have a better experience. You don't want to be out there and, hurting or not in shape. So that's the first thing of advice. And the second thing is just have an open mind. There's people from all walks of life, tons of diversity now, and coming to trail running. And you're gonna meet like what's my friend said the other day. He goes, oh, I finally met my people, And so you kind of you always search for those buddies that that'll turn into lifelong buddies.
Yes.
And it's kind of the same demographic, like the same kind of social economic background. And it's kind of everyone's out there. We have like doctors and lawyers and bigwigs from Manhattan who've never slept in a tent, and they just want to be normal people and
embrace it. Yeah.
So, but that's kind of what I like about TransRockies, because I always tell people, I don't care what you do, how much money you make, or you're here to have fun. and we're all the same for the next 6 days, and let's just go.
No
drink some
egos.
beers, run some. Yeah, no egos. Yeah, we don't care, right? So I say that on my speech every year, right? Like, we don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, we don't care what what you think, let's just go have fun and be open-minded, and let's try to get everyone to the finish line in Beaver Creek,
Yep.
That's awesome. It sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the running event.
And we can't wait to see you in Moab.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
We'll be there.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and play safe in the snow in Toronto.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for having me on.
Okay,
Right.
have a good one.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, he was a lot of fun.
So much energy.
Yeah,
Love
we
it.
like energy.
Yeah. Looking forward to that race. Looking forward to meeting him and the crew.
And he has lots of stories after how many years of directing? 12, 13?
Yeah, about that. 14.
From 5 peaks without able to breathe to TransRockies, where he can be a little bit more chill.
Chillville. I want to go to Chillville. Can we go to Chillville?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sounds like a ball.
Well, you're definitely going to be training for this, and
I've already started training for this.
I can't wait to get there to see you on the start line with your tilted head running down the trail.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's the Moab Run the Rocks. Come beginning of March.
That's right. It's not that far away, really.
It's coming fast.
Oh my gosh. But it'll get me through the winter.
Yes.
That's all I need. Get me through the winter.
And
Yes.
then you can slog off for the rest of the year.
No, I think I already am eyeing up, because you know what's coming back?
No.
Creemore Vertical Challenge.
Oh, that's right.
And I want to cross that one off my list.
Yes, I think I did that back in
Oh, long time ago.
2006. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right.
All right. Till next time.
Cheers.
Bye.